For more than a century of existence, the tank has been the symbol of ground force power, a weapon that commands both respect and fear. From Britain's hefty Mark I that first rolled across the battlefields of World War I, to Germany's Tiger tanks that sowed terror across Europe, to America's Abrams proving absolute dominance in the deserts of Iraq, the tank has remained central to modern war. Each generation reflects the realities of military science and tacitly declares a nation standing on the global chessboard. Then in 2015, on Moscow's Red Square, amid marching music and the thunder of thousands of soldiers' boots, a single vehicle rolled out and drew the world's gaze. It was the T-14 Armata, the tank Russia calls the pride of the 21st century, and a technological card that gives the West cause for caution. To understand why the Armata shocked so many, we must rewind to the years after the Soviet Union's collapse. Russia then possessed a vast reserve of tanks, tens of thousands in number, mostly T-72s, T-80s, and T-90s. These models once inspired dread during the Cold War and, by numbers, could overwhelm NATO forces. But entering the 21st century, the battlefield changed. New anti-tank missiles like the Javelin and Spike emerged, and Western armor kept being upgraded. The older tanks' limitations suddenly became obvious. They were heavy, crew protection was inadequate, and their fire control and electronics lagged behind adversaries. Russia realized that merely upgrading T-72s or T-90s would leave them perpetually behind. A leap forward was needed, and thus the Armata Universal Combat Platform was born, a common foundation able to host tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, and self-propelled guns. The T-14 Armata is its firstborn and the vanguard of that generation. At first sight, Armata made clear it was different. For decades, main battle tanks had followed a consistent philosophy. The crew sat inside the turret, right next to the main gun and the ammunition stowage. That meant that just one armor-piercing round hitting the turret would leave the entire crew with almost no chance of survival. But Armata erased that tradition. All three soldiers, the driver, gunner, and commander, were moved into a sealed armored compartment located at the front of the hull. They sit together in an armored life capsule, completely separated from the turret and the ammunition compartment. This is a revolutionary concept, putting the survival of the crew above all else. Western experts at the time had to admit that no matter how thick the armor of the Abrams or Leopard was, the crew's lives were far more fragile compared to the Armata. But Armata not only protects the crew, it also possesses formidable firepower. The heart of this machine is the 125mm 2A82 1M smoothbore gun, considered more powerful than the famous 120mm Rheinmetall gun equipped on the Abrams and Leopard. This gun can fire a variety of ammunition: high-velocity armor-piercing rounds, high-explosive shells, and especially guided anti-tank missiles with a range of up to 5 kilometers, allowing the Armata to destroy targets from a distance beyond the reach of many Western tanks. It is even rumored that Russia has tested a version equipped with a 152mm gun on the Armata chassis, a terrifying caliber capable of destroying any tank with a single shot. In addition, the autoloader system ensures a stable rate of fire, reducing the crew's workload, while coaxial and remotely operated machine guns allow the Armata to effectively counter infantry, armed helicopters, and unmanned aerial vehicles. A modern tank cannot only focus on offense, but must also defend itself intelligently. Armata carries multi-layer composite armor combined with the new generation Malachite explosive reactive armor, strong enough to withstand many types of armor-piercing rounds. But more notably, it possesses the Afghanit active protection system, considered one of the most advanced shields in the world. Afghanit uses a phased array radar to detect threats from afar, then launches interceptors before missiles or anti-tank rounds can even reach the vehicle's hull. In theory, it is capable of neutralizing even advanced missiles such as the American Javelin with its top attack capability, or Israel's Spike. This makes the Armata not just a warrior clad in thick armor, but one carrying a shield that can actively counter incoming attacks. The modernity of the Armata is also reflected in its electronic systems. The crew, though enclosed inside a sealed armored capsule, can still maintain full situational awareness thanks to a 360-degree camera system, infrared sensors, and radar. The The fire control computer processes data rapidly, allowing the main gun to aim and fire accurately even while the tank is moving at high speed. This technology makes the Armata one of the few tanks in the world to be considered a digital combat vehicle, opening the door to a future where artificial intelligence could directly participate in combat. On May 9, 2015, when the Armata was first unveiled during the parade marking the 70th anniversary of the victory over fascism, the entire world turned its eyes to it. The sight of the Armata rolling majestically across Red Square under the gaze of millions watching on live television immediately became the focus of global discussion. Western media headlines proclaimed it as the most dangerous tank in the world. However, during the final rehearsal before the parade, an unexpected incident occurred. One Armata broke down right in the middle of the square, giving Western media an opportunity to mock it. They treated it as proof that Russia was not yet capable of producing a flawless machine. But those who understand military technology knew well that any new weapon system requires time for testing, and a small malfunction is nowhere near enough to dismiss the revolutionary nature of this design. Since its debut, the Armata has not been seen much on the battlefield. The biggest reason is production cost. An Armata costs several times more than a T-90, and Russia's defense budget simply cannot allow the entire armored fleet to be replaced by Armatas overnight. During the conflict in Ukraine, there were rumors that Russia had deployed a small number of Armatas for combat testing, but there has never been clear evidence. Most Russian units still rely on the T-72 and T-90, vehicles that have proven their reliability and ease of maintenance. This reflects a reality. Technology can be advanced, but if it does not align with economic and logistical conditions, it is difficult to fully unleash its power. Yet, even without mass production, the Armata has already made a global impact. The West has been forced to take notice. The US, Germany, South Korea, and Japan have all begun developing next-generation tank projects. Many of these designs bear clear influence from the Armata's philosophy: unmanned turrets, compact crews enclosed in armored capsules, and active protection systems. The Armata, even without having proven itself in battle, has become a catalyst that forces the entire world to rethink the concept of the modern tank. Compared to the Abrams, the Armata offers greater crew safety. Compared to the Leopard, it represents a more radical design philosophy. Compared to the Challenger, it is a step ahead in electronic systems and defense technology. On paper, the Armata is a formidable opponent, even superior in several aspects. But the reality of war is always harsh. A machine, no matter how powerful, still needs numbers, secure logistics, and the ability to be sustained over the long term. The Armata still has a long road ahead to prove itself, but it is undeniable that it has planted a seed of caution in its rivals. Some may argue that the Armata has not truly changed today's battles, but everyone recognizes that it has already shaped the battles of tomorrow. It is a message Russia has sent to the world. They have not been left behind, and they still have the capability to create a new generation of weapons that forces the West to carefully consider every move. Every time the Armata rolls across Red Square, what people see is not just a block of steel weighing dozens of tons, but the pride, ambition, and aspirations of a nation. In the present, the Armata may not exist in numbers large enough to shift the balance of war. But in the history of tanks, it will always be remembered as a landmark, a symbol of new design thinking and a testament to the desire to break through limits. The T-14 Armata is not simply a tank. It is the steel monster of the 21st century, the silhouette of future battlefields, and a reminder that in a constantly shifting world, it is new technology that holds the key to determining the fate of great powers. And when the Armata's engine roars to life, it is not just the sound of steel and tracks, but the echo of ambition, of pride, and of a future of warfare already taking shape. If you found today's content engaging and informative, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next thrilling videos. Your support is the greatest motivation for me to keep bringing you even more dramatic footage and stories from the mysterious world of military power.